Wow, Mercury is playing on me. I'm going to speak of the Mercury man, the Virgo man. So, how is the Virgo man? Well, this man, as I said, is ruled by the Mercury. He already started playing with me. So, how is this man? He's a very intelligent man, very, very cerebral. Okay, a Mercury man is extremely cerebral man. He is somebody, like, we can see that this Virgo man, when you look at the Virgo man for the first time, it's like you will see it's like very neat, very tidy. On the clothes, you can make out that this is a Virgo man because you will see everything is just so perfectly, you know, organized on himself also. Everything. Just like you will see that there's not even a small crease on his shirt or, no buttons missing here and there. Everything is very well, aligned. All the buttons are very well aligned. And then his hair is completely, very well combed. Many a times the Virgo man I have seen, at least in India, what I saw of Virgo men is that they will always put the hair oil. They always have the hair oil on their head. Now I don't know how it works, but yes, some years ago it was like that they would, their hair was very well set, I would say, properly cut, well shaved, or even if they were bearded, they would have really, like the properly cut beard and things like that. So you could see a Virgo man, you could spot out a Virgo man in the room just by the way he dresses up, the way he carries himself. He is very meticulous in whatever he does. This man is really very organized, very much punctual. If you tell the Virgo man, okay, at this time we meet, this person might almost be there 10 minutes before, 15 minutes before, or just on time. Never have I seen any Virgo man late in their life, always on time. They always respect time because they know the value of time, and this is what I've seen with the Virgo man. This person is extremely responsible. Rather, I would say they feel responsible for everything, and because of that, they feel they have to do everything. And because of that, what happens is that sometimes they can come across as too controlling. Because of the feeling of being responsible, the Virgo man will always, take up lot of work upon himself and wants to do it because he feels he can do it really perfectly, and he does things really well, okay, because he's very organized, and as I said, he's cerebral, so he's extremely intelligent. He knows how to proceed. He can be very strategic also. That is the Leo influence on him that can come upon him. Like, he will plan everything way in advance. Like, I would say it's like if a Virgo man was a warrior, he would plan for the war 3 months before or 2 years before, I would say, and be ready and organized to attack. This is the kind of a Virgo man, organization. Whatever he wants to do, he will always be, always be organized very well in advance. He will chalk out everything, he plans out everything, and he knows now, okay, I want to go, this is my destination, this is my goal, I have to reach this. So he will write it all down, or he will, make a mental map in his head, like, okay, I have to do this, and this. And then when do I want to achieve this? In the year, for example, 2016. In the year 2026, if he wants to attain a particular goal, he will start working at it from 2021 itself, and he will get all the ingredients for that recipe together in those few years, and then he's ready. And then all the others will wonder, like, how did he manage that? Because he has been working on things well, really very, very well in advance. When you speak to a Virgo man, you'll be surprised because he makes very, he's very good at his speech, okay? He can really make a very big impact with his speech because he's gifted to speak and to get everybody's attention. This is what this mercurial man has in him. Okay, and if you are not cultivating it, my dear Virgo man, you better do that, because that is what it is all about. You're so cerebral and you're so articulate. That is the word. Very, very articulate. He knows what he is speaking about, what he is talking about, no matter what. He can also act it very well also in front of people. He knows exactly, because he studies the mind of people also. So he knows exactly what goes well with who. And when you speak with him, he will just, keep speaking, and you will realize that there is a lot of sarcasm also when he speaks. There can be a lot of sarcasm in his language, but this is a humor, okay? And I don't know if you all know or not, but a person who is sarcastic, rather who can make jokes, sarcastic jokes, is supposed to be an intelligent person, because not everybody can make sarcastic jokes. It really needs, the mental, like you make such jokes, such sarcastic jokes, but still the people will swallow it, all right? So he is the king of sarcasm. He is the king of sarcastic jokes. And when you speak with him, he will just keep, he will just make a lot of jokes, and he loves to play with words. He will really, really love to play with words, and this is what he does. So he will really, play with words. This is what I have noticed with the Virgo man. You sit with him, you say, oh, it's really sunny, and then he will look at you and he will say, yes, it's really very sunny, but you don't know what is he speaking about. Is he speaking about the weather, or is he speaking about you? Like, is he speaking about you all lighted up? And so he's like, yeah, it's very sunny, So he will always, play these kind of jokes. I remember with a Virgo friend of mine, we had this MBA get together with our friends in Pune when I'd gone to India, and he had come to take me, and really a wonderful, wonderful guy. And we were going, and we were just speaking about our lives, and like how things are going and work and things like that. And then at one point of time, like I said, yeah, but and then I asked him, like, where is this place where we are going, because I knew, but I didn't, I was not so much aware of a lot of roads over there. So he said, oh, on such and such a road, and I said, yeah, and when will we reach that road? And he says, for the past 15 minutes we are on that road, and he starts laughing, and it's like, I really, since past that I was feeling so foolish, because I didn't know anything about the roads. And he's like, for the past 15 minutes, okay, fine, no problem, It's like, you made me laugh. He says, in so many years I have not laughed as much as today. I said, yeah, on my foolishness, most probably, of not knowing, or my ignorance about the roads over here, I said. And yeah, so, it's like this kind of jokes, like they will just, it's like, it comes very spontaneously. And sarcasm also comes with them, because with Virgo men, if you hurt them, then they will also hurt you, but very sophisticatedly they will hurt you back. They will be very sarcastic, but it's like, for example, if a Virgo man's wife is serving him a dish, and then if her hair has fallen into in the recipe, in his dish, then he will say, oh, my darling, you put your love everywhere. Like he just wants to point out that just the hair is over there, and then he is like, oh, you put your love everywhere. It's like his way of, this is the kind of sarcastic humor that he can play. At the same time, he will show you what you have done, and at the same time he will quote it with his humor. So it's fun. This Virgo man can be real fun, and not for long, because when you're dating him, everything is like a hush matter. Virgo men are not really public. They don't like the display of affection in public. Everything is quite private for them. The matters of heart are really, really private for a Virgo man. So if you are dating with him and you feel, oh, he never holds my hand in public, or oh, he's not telling everyone about it, what is happening, so he will never tell it until and unless he is not sure that a committed, he will just tell it, I would say. He would just tell it out when it is official. This is what the Virgo men are all about. They like things. When it's official, he will declare it. Otherwise, everything is kept under covers. And people might almost feel, oh, you are friends, or you're good friends, until they see the wedding card. Oh dear, oh, you were not friends, you were dating. So this is what can happen also with the Virgo man. They can be very hush hush. With the Virgo man, I've seen that it's all about the first relationship. Actually, is the true love, because they have fallen in love with someone, and it's very deep bond that they form with that true love of their life, whom they consider. The first one usually is the one where they give their heart out, and if at all they get a bad experience over there, then I've seen Virgo men become flirts. They become flirts. Then they start flirting as if, like calendar, they can change, like months change, they can change their girlfriends like that. Because you know what? They have that communication skills are wonderful. They have the humor, so they know how to get ladies on their side. Because humor, well articulate, very well dressed, handsome man. Why will a woman reject a Virgo man, right? And so afterwards they know that that is their power, and then they start doing that. But my dear Virgo man, what is the point in doing that? Okay, you are not supposed to be those kind of flirtious guys who just takes advantage of innocent women, unless the woman is also not really committed. Yeah, but otherwise there is no point in breaking heart of someone who trusts you, who is emotionally into you. Just because you got a bad experience in the past doesn't mean that somebody else is going to give you the same experience. Yeah, so there you have to be very careful, my dear Virgo man, if you are in that kind of a state, right? And once the Virgo man commits to a woman of his life, to the partner of his life, then he's very protective. Then he's all about getting structured more. And then when you reach his place, then this is where the game starts, because it's supposed to be very, very clean, very organized. Everything has its proper place. And if you are the kind of haphazard person, like take this thing and put it here, and tomorrow you put it there, and then when you say where is it, then this man is going to get mad at you, I tell you. And then the sarcasm, which was humor before marriage, becomes a sarcasm that even pricks your heart, rather cuts your heart into pieces. All right, you have to take care. Can make fun of you, saying, oh, it's like, oh, it's like, like you like to live in a garbage, or, some things like that he would say, and then you will be like, oh, what is that? And why did he say that? And it would hurt you. Yeah. So you have to be careful if you're dating a Virgo man, or rather if you're the partner of a Virgo man, to keep things in their proper place. That's really, like, he can be really like that. OCD syndrome can be too much in him. That compulsive behavior is very much there. Like everything has to have its place, okay? Sometimes I've also seen the Virgo men, it's like you serve them something, and then, it's like there is a dot on the plate. It's like, oh, when was this washed? In which year was this washed? Yeah. So you have to immediately, you have to go, and you have to go and change the plate immediately, even without asking for more questions, or say, oh, you can use it. No, he'll never use it. He wants everything clean. His glass has to be clean. Most probably he uses the same glass every day, the same cup every day. Yeah. So you have to really, do what he feels comfortable with if you want a happy life with him. Otherwise, it can get really, for a woman or for a partner of a Virgo man, it can be very difficult, because, for him, he is very nitpicky at times. So that perfection thing is very much always there in his life. And so, Virgo men, you need to be a little bit slow on others who are not so perfect. Okay, give them a bit of chance of imperfection, because through imperfections only we become perfect. We learn and we become perfect. So there, my dear Virgo man, you have to pity all of us, because we cannot be as wow and as clean and as organized like you. We will try, but it's not always our piece of cake. So there you have to be very considerate with all of us. Okay, my dear Virgo man. And yes, and when it comes to food, wow, it can be a fuss, right, my dear Virgo man? It can be really fussy, because me being a Virgo moon, I can understand what it is all about, because I can also be the same. It's like, if you see two Virgo people having food together, they go to a restaurant, for example, what happens is that normally the Virgo man prefers to take his lunchbox wherever he goes, or cook his own food, or things like that. If he is not alone, then his wife knows how to make his lunchbox, right? But if at all he is going out, he eats outside. You see, wow, there is a layer of oil. You will see him. He takes the spoon and he starts to fish out the oil, putting it on the side, takes it. He might almost call the manager or the person who is serving there to say the server to get another cup or something, and he puts the oil outside. And then he'll be really like, he will check everything. For him, the food doesn't have to be rich and like really oozing out with oil and fat and things. He'll always have a balanced diet. He'll always have a balanced diet. Always wants to eat healthy food unless he is really, really compelled into having unhealthy food. But Virgo man will, at one point of time, he'll just stop and he'll just go back to his nature. It's like everything. Mostly he would like to eat the greens. Okay, mostly he's more on vegetables rather than a lot of meats and things like that. He would prefer, even if he eats meat, he will prefer to have the marriage of the meat and some vegetables, so that it goes well, because for him his body is very important, because that body is nourishing his mind. This is what he feels, and because of that, that connection that is there between the tummy and the brain, he says, okay, let's go for the best way of eating, the sattvic ahar that we say, the balanced diet. And this is what it is very important for him. So my dear ladies, if you're dating a Virgo man, please get into the the good way of cooking with less oil, or with the healthy oils that you have to cook. Add a lot of vegetables to his palate. Rather add a very tasty food, but not made with too much of spice, too much. No, it's not about too much. It's about just. And what is the just, Virgo men? You know it better than me. Yeah, so that is how the Virgo men can be really, really fussy when it comes to food. I wouldn't even say fussy. I would say mindful. And when a Virgo man eats also, I've seen the Virgo man takes his time to eat. He's not like, yum, 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 yum. No. It doesn't work like that. He has to be really like, take his time and properly, because again, that connection that he knows. So really, but anyhow, I have to say that no matter how sattvic or how nicely they are eating and things like that, still they have the tendency, because of their perfectionist nature, to be highly strung. The nerves can suffer a lot, and even if they eat good food, their tummy can have a problem. And because of that excessive controlling, the control that they can exert on others, just to have everything perfectly done, because that's right, as I said, that you have to be a bit lenient, my dear Virgo man, because that controlling nature, what does it do? It creates a problem with your pancreas at one point of time. So you have to be very, very careful regarding that. At times you have to just like, okay, fine. It's like, when there are children at home, you cannot be all the time the parent. Sometimes you have to be a child with the children. So, what happens is that you enjoy and you see things a bit, differently also. Not all the time, but yes, time to time you can take those kind of breaks also. Yeah. And as a parent, how will this Virgo man be? a teacher. He will always be a good teacher to his children. He will inculcate all the values that he had received, the age old values. He is extremely into traditions. You have to know that. Sometimes it gets a bit difficult because you have to explain to the Virgo man that, my dear Virgo man, it's good traditions, but some traditions have not been good. That's not fair. That's not applying right now. I mean, what was applying at that time doesn't apply right now. It's like, it's like entering into a place crawling, okay? Why was that at that time? And today also, if he teaches the children, you have to enter that place crawling. That's wrong. Because at that time, there was no place that the people could stand and go because it was all covered. But today, those walls are broken, so you can stand and you can go. So, those kind of things also happen with the Virgo man. He forgets that, the times have changed many a times for him, and of course traditions have to be respected, but he can be very fanatic at times, very attached to a lot of traditions, and some of them can be negative things that can come back to the children, and then that is something that can be a bit destructive for the children. But otherwise he will teach his children how to live the life in a good way. He will push them into meditation, into yoga, into spirituality, almost push them because he likes his children to be like him. He wants them to be perfect. He wants them to be successful. Because as a worker also, when he works, even if he doesn't like his job, he will do it devotedly and honestly. He will do it. He will pour his heart into his work. He marries his work. And he will just do it just because it is in his nature. I want to be perfect in whatever I do. So how can I leave this mess like that? Is the thing. So he will want to clean up everything. Wherever he will go, he would like to just that cleaning is his job in a way inside of him, his mind. So the boss has to be quite cool about it. Once the Virgo man has been given some work, he is assigned. He will make the night and day one to achieve that. This is what a boss of the Virgo man has to know. This man is going to do everything well. And this is why the Virgo men climb the hierarchy also. The downside of Virgo man can be that he forgets to enjoy life. Many a times he forgets to enjoy life because he is too much into those brain games, and at times also he can be too much, about his own image. It becomes very important for him. His own image becomes important. And because of that, what happens is that so much it gets on him about being perfect, about the image that he's projecting, is that he forgets his real self in that. He forgets to enjoy. Because on this earth, we have come to learn. And this learning is about different subjects, not just one subject, right? So it's all about different subjects. And he forgets this subject, which is called enjoy life or joy of living. Because he is completely married to his work, his mission. And then for people around him, especially his loved ones, it becomes pretty difficult to handle that. It's like then the one-track mind starts, and then that gets very difficult. And then the children can feel he's a bit authoritarian. Then his partner can sometimes feel like, no matter how much I do, I am not good enough, So my dear Virgo man, there you have to go slow on your loved ones because it can be really difficult to catch up with your standards of living for some of your loved ones. So you will have to be a bit careful of how you want to educate them. Be a loving teacher rather than a strict teacher, because children learn better when taught with love. Our loved ones will accept more when the things are loving rather than when they are, being said that, no, this is not the way you have to do it. And see how you have done it. It is not. Let me show you. And this, ta 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 ta. Yeah, but the same thing can be done in a bit of a ludic way, in a playful way also, my dear Virgo man. And yes, you need to take care of your tummy, because this is where you stock everything. In your tummy you stock everything, my dear Virgo man. And yes, one thing I have to tell the ladies who are dating the Virgo man: never go shopping with him. Never, never, never go shopping with him, because he takes so long. I mean, you can go with the Virgo man, and then you have to take a book or something and just sit and let him go and negotiate and do his bargaining or whatever is going on, and speak to the seller, speak about everything that product is all about, that he's going to buy. Well, you take a book on how to be zen. How to be zen, and you keep reading it till he finishes his long shopping and buys one or two things in that much of time. Yes, my dear Virgo man. So yes, and yes, the thing is that if you have to give him a gift, well, this is another challenge for those who are with the Virgo man, is that what do you give him? Well, I think Virgo man, they really like things that are handmade, or something of beauty, or antique, something antique, which will push that brain, gets stimulated, like where does it come from, and then searching for the history of this particular gift, and then understanding the traditional value of that particular antique gift that you have given. Or if it is created by the hands, but it has to be really, really beautiful. Whatever is beautiful, whatever is natural also, it really attracts the Virgo man's attention, and whatever sets him thinking. It can be a nice beautiful book also, but a book on something which is different, not the usual stuff, okay? Something that sets his mind into motion, into thought process, okay? And gets the best out of his mind, okay? Here there is nothing to do with the heart, it is all about the mind, all right? That you have to see. And I have also seen that Virgo men, it's difficult for them to take holidays. You really have to push them to take a holiday, otherwise it's like no holidays. So my dear ones, if you are the partner for Virgo man, you better push him to take holidays, because he needs to rest, he needs to relax, okay? Because he has to know. So his way of relaxation can be, like he might play a game or listen to some calming music, or he can also play music himself, or he can sing also. Yeah, so he can do like that. But time to time, my dear Virgo man, you need to take a break, you need to take holiday, you need to calm that down, you need to meditate. That is the best thing, my dear Virgo man, for you. And that would be really a kind of a gift that if you want to give to a Virgo man, would be a nice holiday in a beautiful, serene and calm place, where each nerve of his body relaxes. And yes, that place better be clean, otherwise he might start cleaning there also. So, or he might get mad with you, like, where have you got us, and what is that food, and and then you might end up in the tears, like, oh, I wanted to give you a nice gift, but didn't work well. Yeah, so there, my dear, you have to really, really take care of what you gift him, and he needs to take a break, as I said. And stress, my dear Virgo man, you don't need to be stressed, because that can create problems of diabetes for you. And as I said, the pancreas can be the organ that gets quite affected in the Virgo man, and even the tummy, the digestive system is attacked because of too much of thought process. So this is where, my dear Virgo man, you have to know, is that you have to, joy of living, JOL, jolly jolly. Yes, that you have to do, and you have to be calm inside of you, because things take time. They will happen, but they do take time, isn't it, my dear Virgo man? And yes, the Virgo man will always be connected to his family. As I said, values, traditions, this is what he values the most. So whatever is his culture, his upbringing, it will reflect to the outside world. You will know where is he coming from. You don't even need to meet his family members, his parents. You don't need to meet them. He will exhibit them through his own behavior. He carries them. And if you tell him, okay, would you like for dinner today? Should I make a pizza? And then he'll give you a bad look and say, yeah, I really feel we should have some those vegetables with chapati with this dal. It's really nice, and he will tell you all the breakup of all the the good things that that meal can get you, and the bad things that a pizza can get you also, unless the pizza is made in a very healthy way. Yeah, so with everything organic, then most probably you might win the argument with him on that. All right, so yes, so it's all about that that earth sign that he is, about being grounded, all about being grounded, all about nature. He loves the nature. He will love the animals too. They really like pets also. Many of the Virgo men I have seen, they have an affinity for pets. This is what I have seen. Because their emotions can be a bit complex to express. So the pets can be a good way where they can communicate, and they know that finally there's no judgment there and somebody's understanding them. That is what I have seen in a Virgo man. Let me see if I have missed any. Yeah, oh yes, there is one more thing that about the Virgo men that I had noticed also, is that they can be sometimes the either or in the Virgo men. It's like there are Virgo men who can be extremely, like what I said, is completely very much dharmic, which we say, on the path of dharma, on the path of the good set of values, who are walking, while the others who can be manipulators also, who tell a lot of lies, and in order to gain something for themselves. That selfish streak can come into some Virgo men where there is afflicted, their Mercury is afflicted. It's like they can really become very nasty, where they can become manipulative for their personal gains, and that is very, very difficult aspect of the other side of the Virgo man, because there can be these two kind of really like the opposite polars, okay? That one side is completely, the normal Virgo man with a good Mercury. They are very, very nice, very working on whatever I said. But there are the other type of Virgo men where it is all about manipulation. So because of that, some of the very close people of the Virgo, the family members, the loved ones of Virgo men, can have a lot of problems, because they can feel cheated by them. They can feel taken for a ride by them, because of that honesty has turned into lies, or so that kind of big mess can happen also in the Virgo's life because of certain reasons, of course. So there, my dear Virgo man, you have to be very careful. Never leave your path. Be always, your job is on this earth is to do good to people, and never go on the wrong path for any kind of selfish interest, because that can lead to the destruction of so many good things that are inside of you. So never follow that path, no matter what the gains you're getting out of it. Follow the good path, because Virgo is supposed to be somebody who's clean, okay? So there is no need to malign that thing because of some, selfishness, or because of some negativity around you, or some negativity that is forcing you on a wrong path. Never, never do it, because that's not the path of the real Virgo man. So on this, my dear ones, I would say when you're with a Virgo man, be open-minded. There is a lot of things to learn from him. And my dear Virgo man, don't be too much in the mind, okay? Heart is here, okay? So some little bit of time with the heart also you have to spend. All right, my dear Virgo man. So thank you very much for listening, and please do let me know how did you like the video? Please do like, share and comment, and share it with the Virgo men around you. And please do comment. And yes, if there have been other points also that you would like to add about the Virgo man, please do so. I would be really, really happy, because it's so vast. All this is so vast, so I might not be able to cover everything in just a few minutes, and I don't want you to put you to sleep also, just speaking and speaking a lot. So please do, yeah, write. And yes, writing. This is one of the things that you Virgo men have when, you write so well. So yes, please do write. Yes, you write so well. I forgot to mention that point. You write very well. You can be a poet. You can just write wonderfully. That is that artistic streak that is inside of you. So thank you, my dear Virgo man, and thank you for all you who have watched. Please do like, share and comment, and I shall see you next time. Until then, take good care of yourself. Bye-bye. God bless. Bye.